Hey, what's up guys? Khaled here, the Plant Charmer. I promised I was going to shoot some new video tutorials on how to start your garden, take care of your plants. So we're starting today. Here at Ingenious Farms, we are just coming back to the farm. It's our first day basically of the year. So we're going to be starting lettuces. I made a video on that. It's going to be an updated video with better tips. Whatever new experiences we've gained along the way will be passed on as well. So first part of this video will be the starting materials. As you can see, I've gathered around me a couple of the things we're going to use. Let me just go through them quickly. Now, you got the wheelbarrow here. I don't need to tell you, we could put a tarp on the ground and make our mix there or whatnot. But this is going to provide a solution that's higher off the ground, so more comfort for us. What you have in here, organic pelleted chicken manure. The product I keep telling you guys about. This is made by a local company, but you can find some different brands in the US. I've checked the internet, Amazon has some and whatnot, so a quick search will get you there. 532, so 5% nitrogen, 3% phosphorus, and 2% potassium. Good vegetative formula. So when you start your plants, you want something like that. It's also slow release because it's pellets, so it's going to degrade over time. It will provide enough nutrition to get our starts to the planting time. Here you have what we use for starting as trays. These are 50 cell plug trays, so we use a lot of that. You may not see it in the video right now, but I've got about, I don't know, 400, 500, 600 of them around, so they're reusable for many years. We use a 50 count. Okay, the size here is always, the area is always the same. So when you hear a 72 plug tray, that means they're going to fit 72 plugs in here. So obviously they'll be smaller than this. 128 goes the same thing. It's still smaller. So that's going to vary what you use according to what your final goal is. Now we want our plants to stay nice and not be root bound up until they get transplanted to their final location. So we use a 50 count here, which is going to give us the right size for that. So we've got 40 of them here. We're planning on starting 2,000 lettuces today, so that's going to do it for that. Seed, really important part. This is seed from last year. However, it was kept in proper storage, which means in a dry, cold location, also called the fridge. So we know the seed is going to be good. This is roseine, which is one of our bib lettuces. It's actually a pelleted seed, so it's got a little clay coating around. Super important. I keep telling you guys to get these. They're 30% more expensive, but they save you a lot of time and aggravation. Super worth it. I'm a commercial grower. I use these at home. It's going to be a difference of 50 or 60 cents per packet of seed, so super worth it. If you can find pelleted stuff, use that. That'll save you a lot of patience and a lot of time. We couldn't find pelleted for everything, so we're going to go with the old trusty classic here for another one of our varieties. Now, grow mix. Okay, this what you have here is from a company called Berger. It's a simple mix of what I always tell you guys to get. So it's going to be I haven't even checked when I bought it because it's pretty standard. It's going to be 80%, 80-20 peat moss perlite, or 85-15, or 75-25. Doesn't really matter. This one is OMRI listed, organic. The reason why we get brand new mixes every season for our starts is because if you reuse the mix from last year, it's going to be a lot of weed seeds mixed in there. And as your trays come up, you're going to spend a lot of time just basically clearing out the weeds from there. So that makes our job easier. Peat moss does not hydrate properly after it's been dry for a long time. So these new bales here actually contain what we call a wetting agent. So you won't need to go and put some aloe juice or some hot water to get it to soak the water up. It's going to do that right away from the first time. So that saves us a lot of work here. These are pretty much the materials. We're going to get going, do a few trays, and we'll shoot another segment after that just to take it to the next step. Hey, what's up guys? So our segment, one more time, our mix is made. So I haven't shown you that part because it's pretty basic. We've sliced open that bale, shoved a bit of that medium, basically filled up the wheelbarrow. In terms of fertilizer, I know you guys are going to want to ask me, how much do you put? We got scientific measurements for that. However, I'm going to save you the lingo that goes with it. Basically, for a barrel like this, we put 7 handfuls of pellets like this. So that gives you an approximation. That's an amount that's not going to burn your plants, but it's going to provide enough fertility up until we transplant. Because don't forget, these are solid pellets. It's fertilizer that's solid, so we're not going to be able to add more to these cells until we transplant. We could use a liquid fertilizer and then use a watering can for that or some system like that, but we try to keep it simple. So 7 handfuls like this in a wheelbarrow full like this, which is at about, I would say, 40% of the bale. So for about 2 cubic feet more or less of medium. You're going to put 7 handfuls of this. So with that being said, I tell you guys all the time to invest in a really, really good growing medium. If there's one thing you can invest in when you're gardening, instead of getting rototillers and all kinds of useless chemical fertilizers, which we don't like anyway, invest in your growing medium. Look at this. That is a handful of peat moss mixed with soil. That's the mix we use. That's also what we use for our main growing in the gutters. If you look at this, it's super fluffy, yet it's moist. But look, if I try to squeeze it into a ball like clay, it comes right back out. So this is what you want. This is going to grow great roots, great carrots, great turnips. Great start, great plant. If you start with that mix and you make it a standard in your garden, that's already a good chunk of the problem that's solved, or a good chunk of the solution. So let us just go back to making more trays. We'll show you how to do that afterwards, and how to finalize the setup so it gets to germinating and we can start our seeding. Hey, what's up guys, Khaled here. We're back ready to plant some seed now. So I've focused the camera on one of our trays. Trays are full. They're flat to the with the surface, so that's perfect. Our mix is moistened like we wanted it to, so it's not damp wet. It's just basically moist enough to compact properly and then fill the trays properly. So I don't think I really need to show you guys that. Don't soak it in water completely. Now we're gonna grab a little bit of our little pellets here, and one of the benefits of pellets, of course, is that they are larger. A pellet, by the way, for those who don't know, is simply a seed that in a clay coating or some kind of biodegradable coating. So usually it's clay. This is clay. So the other advantage is you don't need to dig a little depression in your cell, put the seed in, and then cover it. So that's going to be a one-step process. So I'm just going to seed that tray here quickly for you guys so you can see. So just place it on the surface. Just push it in a little, and then you can just leave it there. So it doesn't even need to be covered, because once you water, a little bit of peat moss will get on top, and it'll take care of that for you. Now, in terms of depth, you're always going to plant a seed at 2 or 3 times the depth of the diameter of the seed in terms of depth. However, this is not exactly accurate when you're doing pellets, because the pellet is actually much bigger than the seed. So just basically press it in. Don't put it in too deep, because if you do, then the plant is going to have trouble emerging, and you're going to have a lower germination rate that way. So just one seed right down the middle of the plug, sorry, and then you're just going to keep going that way all the way to the end. So pretty simple process. The reason why it's simple is because we did our prep work properly. Our mix was already made, we fertilized it, we watered it, we prepped our trays, and now we can just do this. So push the seeds in, make sure they're in the middle. Being rigorous in this process is super important, because that's how everything starts basically. So if you start right, then your chances of having a good season are increased dramatically. So we take the time to do that. It's the first task of the year that we accomplish. Kind of reconnects us with the farm operation as well. So basically, we're almost at the end of our first tray. This is a super popular lettuce that I show you guys on Instagram all the time. It's called Ségolène. It's a bib lettuce actually mixed with a romaine, super crunchy heart. It's a little gem type basically, which is pretty much all we grow here. They're so popular and so delicious. So just like that, we've got our first 50 planted. Of course, we're going for a run of 2,000 now, so I'm going to save you the pain of having to watch 50 trays being filled. Once you've got that, you can simply pass your hand very, very gently on top. Okay, give the seed a real light covering. Or you could sprinkle alternatively, you could sprinkle some more mix on top. So at that point, it's not really critical, as long as your seeds are at the proper depth, they got the proper moisture in the proper mix, and you should do great. So after that, all you're left to do is water them with a watering can. I don't have any water available right now around, because our faucets are still all frozen. I'm gonna have to go and get some inside afterwards. But pretty simple stuff. Water them like you'd water any plant. So peat moss and perlite like that will wet to the point of saturation, and it will not accept any more water after that, which is, by the way, the very definition of saturation. So Some people ask me sometimes, how much do I water? I tell them water to the point of saturation. Then they tell me, yeah, but I may water too much. No, that's not possible, because once you've reached the point of saturation, that is as much water as the medium will soak. That also gives you the regularity and the consistency of having every single one of your cells at the same level of moisture. So more consistency across all variables gives a better result all the time. So that's it. That kind of completes the lesson for today. If you guys have any comments, our little mechanism for gardening training for you guys as of now will be ask your question in the YouTube videos. Instagram is hard to deal with. It's kind of awkward answering all questions in detail there. So we're going to keep the YouTube channel for that. Ask your questions in the comments section. I'll be reading that, answering them, and we can kind of all work alongside each other during the season that way. My name is Khaled, also known as the Plant Charmer. So season 2019 starts. Keep it green, keep it organic.